Am I live again? Should be live there. And live there. All right. Hi guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. I have an issue with my phones. And AT&T showed up to fix it. And it's still busted, but that's because one of my devices has just lost its fucking mind. So it's fixed now. Or the phone is, and I'll have a new phone coming in a couple of days. Hi guys, I'm back. 2 deaths already. And I keep dying to the flame-throwing asshole here. Because of course I do. And he's up here waiting for me again. But I think I'll just avoid him. He's killing me, and right now, all of my muscle memory is last epoch muscle memory. And that's just killing me. So, hopefully, I'll cover it for the day, and I can now continue my gaming experience and streaming experience, hey Vorp, in peace. New league, I've already died twice. Unfortunately, I keep hitting the wrong buttons. I keep hitting the last epoch buttons instead of the PoE buttons. And we have our first appearance of the new league mechanic, Undertaker Aramore.
An exile with a talent for killing.
Yeah. Can now peer through the lantern of Aramore at area transitions. All right. Peer through the lantern at the next area transition. Uh-huh. Okay. Presumably, I come over here and I transition to the next area. Peer into the Lantern of Aramore to see the spirits affecting the tidal island. Pack density cannibals. Pack density high. Chance to hinder enemies on hit with spells. Vicious crabs. Monsters haunted by more powerful spirits have a higher chance to have unresolved anguish. Don't we all have unresolved anguish, really? Okay, we'll enter. Don't understand the function yet, but hey, it's a new league, it's a new mechanic, and it takes time. I have defeated a monster with a Necropolis modifier, my first. I will put on these wool shoes. More mana, I guess. Sure. All right. I have collected a corpse. Speak to the Undertaker.
Well, this one's got quite the unfinished.
This corpse will do, full of anguish. Well, it's a rough life when you're a crab. I'm crabby, so I know. Visit the morgue. View the Necropolis morgue. 100% chance for caster monsters. I don't. Visit the Necropolis. Sure. New league. You gotta poke the mechanic. All right. We'll grab the waypoint here. Evidently we already have that. Undertaker Aramore.
Welcome to my little slice of Rayclast, Exile. Got a more.
If it gets full, we have to choose what we want to keep while you're here. You can do some burials, free some spirits. I think you'd be mighty interested in what happens when we do. Has he got anything? He has, for Chaos Orb, he has an empty coffin. I don't have Chaos Orbs. But I can sell that for a chrome. Sure, we're going to bury that. No idea what that did other than I buried it. Open the Tome of Aramore. Sure. Armor. Helmets. Gloves. Boots. Shield. Contents. Weapons. Bow. Sure. Exercise. We got a bow. And it's significantly better than what we're using. So we will move these objects, my skill gems, in there and throw that away. Pretty straightforward. Had to poke at it a bit to try and understand what we're doing. I know you can basically bury a bunch of stuff and then bring it all up together to really buff the items you'll be getting. Okay, cool. I am definitely getting some lag spikes, though. Of course, we had that with the last league, too, at the start. That's Hailrake, and he's bad. Alright. I'll just take the cheaty way back to town. We don't want to see all, we only want to see Necropolis League.
I'd almost stop believing.
Quicksilver Flask. Pierce, I think we need. Mirage Archer? Pierce? Mirage Archer, I think. Mirage Archer. Definitely feeling a significant chunk of lag, though. Don't know what's causing that. Mirage Archer I can't use yet. Wow, I'm getting terrible UI lag. That's really strange. We actually want those there and that there. Can't use that until level 4 either. We'll sell the rest. I don't know. The lag is noticeable.
While we live, we
Vestal, yes, thank you.
Got a job for you. Stay sharp out there.
Alright, we'll drop this stuff into the old stasharoo. We don't need that any longer. Let me move our orbs. Ah, god damn it. Click, 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 click. Move the essences up. One. The hell are the maps? We don't need the uniques there, I don't think. Where are the maps? Ah, there are the maps. Definitely won't need those for a while. Wow! The lag is fucking awful in town. I certainly hope that's not going to last. Peer into the Lantern of Aramor. Peasant haunted. Monsters haunted by more powerful spirits have higher chance to have unresolved anguish and drop embers of the all flame. Roas. Do we really need more powerful Roas? This is what they meant. I saw people commenting about the league mechanic not being avoidable in this league. You can't. Another commenter, Zizarin, commented that this next map I'm going into is the map that's most likely to kill a player right off the bat. And they've made the Roas, who are the problematic monsters, even tougher. Can we move that to something else? Oh, we can. The water elementals? Yeah, we'll move that to the water elementals. The Roas can chain stun you and kill you in a great big hurry. What is with this? I'm getting lag all over the place. If the Roas can get a running head start at you because they have a stun, there's a bunch of them around. They can chain stun you and you'll be dead in a flash. So a batch of them like that, for instance, can be bad. Also, I learned yesterday, I hadn't known, that when you pick up the item that they're guarding on their class, that pisses off all of the Roas in the area, and they get a big buff. Wasn't aware of that until yesterday. Thank you, Ziz. Okay, good. We can go with that and that. That's 15 energy. Can't wear that. Not interested in it. We'll sell it anyway. Actually, we're not interested in it. We'll just get rid of it. I need to find the third. Ah, this should be the third. Is this only the third? Ow, ow. See, that's what I meant. Two of the gems? Yeah, it is only two of the gems. Alright, so where's the third? Over here, evidently. It's another level.
That's nature for
God damn it. Alright. Galvanic arrow supported with Mirage Archer, which basically, if I shoot at something and hit something, I get a Mirage Archer that pops up over my head and he shoots a weapon the same as mine. If I don't shoot for a little while, he goes over. Alright. I will go in and then turn right back around. Oh, I'm submerged. We just want to grab the waypoint here. back out into the previous map. Because there's another area here. The Bad Mom. I can't remember if that actually gives a worthwhile reward. I know the speedrunners skip it. It's not in my nature normally to skip stuff. Also, this has one of my least favorite mechanics in every game ever. It's a kill-all mission. You have to kill every creature in the game. Chain belt, more energy shield, good. Because like every implementation of a kill-all mission, you can finish up this entire map and have missed one mob somewhere. It's just lazy game design. If you're a game designer and you ever choose to put a kill-all mission in your game, please consider a career in fast food. Ooh, a quiver. That's definitely take that. Adding 1 to 4 physical damage to our attacks. Another level for me. One to 4 physical damage, 1 to 4 physical damage. Gee, I can't decide which to use. Why not both? I'm smarter. Suddenly. I'm just so smart. Keep leveling up momentum, I think. Not sure if we end up using that later on or not. But I would bet the number of people, players, quit this game after hitting that last map with all the Roas getting stun-locked and killed repeatedly. There are games that are not particularly friendly to new players, and then there's Path of Exile, the most actively hostile game to new players in the world. A number of times the devs have made the most appallingly elitist commentary about, well, you know, if the first couple maps kill you and they drive you off, you're probably not the kind of player who's going to end up playing our game much anyway. For the record, I tried the game 5 or 6 times before it finally stuck. I did clear it out. Kill all the monsters. I missed a monster somewhere. Yay! Just like I described. Engelbert Meow. Oh, hi! EBM is a superb content creator when she's creating. Mostly does Guild Wars 2, but occasionally dips her toes into various and sundry other things. I'm okay. I'm feeling a little under the weather. I don't know why. Not, like, bad, but studying for an exam. Studying hard, I can see. Just kidding. Well, I'm sure you'll ace your exam. Yeah, it's not. I'm just kind of meh. You know, yesterday, the night before yesterday, I had too much to drink, but I feel more meh today than I did yesterday. Character select. And I am playing the new Path of Exile Let. By the way, those of you who enjoy a good Guild Wars 2 stream, or occasionally a cursed cosplay, I do strongly suggest Engelbert Meow. When she's not studying for an exam. Well, I'm trying to make do with decaf coffee.
Now that you
Shrapnel ballista, I think, is what we need here. And we get dash, and what we also need is some green sockets. A necromancer, just the one. Yeah, okay, it is passive respect points for killing the necromancer. We've got one there. That'll do for the shrapnel ballista, but we want something connected to the shrapnel ballista at some point. Let's remove that. Move that there. Put the dash there. Yay, we have a movement skill. Clear, and the shrapnel ballista goes there. We'll hold on to this. We'll sell that. I am definitely suffering from key misfunction. I've been playing so much Last Epoch over the last, 6 weeks since they launched? 5 weeks? That I'm hitting the wrong keys here. It's like, oh, I need a heal. Click. Why aren't I healing? Oh, that's the wrong button. Do not recommend unless you enjoy dying twice in the first map. Not that that happened. It happened. Alright, we'll just drop this off in our stash for now. And we're off to the flooded depths. Well, the submerged passage and then the flooded depths, realistically. Oh, not that way, though. That way's a dead end. Battered helm. Really? Who wants a deep-fried helm? Not me. I'm trying to cut down on my helm eating. Let's kill them all. If they have the temerity to challenge me, they must all die. Lots of critters. Define Fubblegum is the first character to enter the disused furnace. Something is hurting quite a lot there. I should probably attempt to remove them. Alright. They're dead. Ballistics. More skill pointies. Is this dead end? Looks like a dead end. Neither of those skill gems is of any use to me. It was a dead end. Don't take dead ends, kids. Don't do drugs. 0 deaths except for those first 2, exactly. I would like to blame lag for that. And while lag has been present, that wasn't the cause. It was pilot error. There, I admitted it. It was button error is what it really was. 1% chance to drop an additional chromatic orb on the drifting eyes. 20% increased damage. So this is why people are not, or some people are not nuts about the new mechanic. You have to engage. And historically, League mechanics on League launch are deadly. %, 200% global crit chance? No, thank you. No. We'll put that on something that doesn't have large pack density. Thank you. Chance to drop additional chromatic orb. Yeah, a lot of those would be nice, certainly. High. Very low for zombies. 20%, gain 20%. All right. So now that I understand the mechanic a little, I can see why people, especially hardcore players, League mechanics, especially on launch, are notoriously rippy, deadly. And so a lot of times, I'm going to call them the speed racers, as if they're anime characters. The hardcore, high-end players will skip League mechanics on League launch because it's so easy to run into a League mechanic that just annihilates you. But you can't skip this one. I expect a lot of the high-end players are going to accidentally rip much earlier than they would otherwise do. Simply because they tend to be rippy, and these ones are unskippable. That's going to be very interesting. Oh, come on. That part of the map needs to be nuked from outer space. We, ARPG players, we hate doubling back. Hate it. It's one of the things that players have absolutely bomb-dropped on Diablo 4 for doing. Including me, by the way. How am I managing to find every dead end in the place? It's a skill I have. Feel free to envy me. What in the bleep? Did I miss something somewhere? Yes, I did. Expert dead end finder. If businesses and whatnot still had, where did I miss it? There. Still had business cards, that would make an excellent business card title. For a while, my business cards said, my real name here, and the title on it was Systems Necromancer. I worked at a place that allowed you to have significant flexibility on your selected business card job title. Is this another freaking dead end? Yeah, yes it is. I found another dead end. Stop shooting things at me. It's rude. I'm at a loss to explain how incredibly inept I am being right now with my amazing ability to find all the dead ends. I have to double back. We hate doubling back. We just hate it. It's not fun. And we have our first essence monster. Is that supposed to be a unique? Because that looks like the Dweller of the Deep I need for the quest is a unique. He's the essence mob? Well, that is not good. 1 second, I need to check my path of building. One thing I will say about Path of Exile is that without the community tools that are available, nobody would play this game ever again. The essence monster is the big unique. I'll just die. Thank you. Back to town. I killed a granddaddy crab.
You managed to kill a granddaddy crab.
See?
Farewell.
Another point. We grab that. Damn it. Wrong button. There we are. Okay, next button will be there in the bottom. All right. Without path of building, if you took path of building away from the community, the PoE player community, they would be lost. That's not really helpful. Neither of those is going to be especially helpful. We'll just sell them.
Hello.
Hello. We've got our first essence. We go to essences, and we need to set the affinity here for essences, which means that when we can send them an essence to any tab anywhere, and instead it will go to the tab that has the affinity. It's a nice addition they made, I don't know, a couple of years ago. By the way, last epoch. Steal that. Thank you. Alright, and now we are back into the submerged passage. And we need to find the other exit from here. The first exit is place with the mob down there that we just killed. By the way, in no way is putting the quest mob as the essence mob fair. An essence mob gets boosted in its power. Sometimes extremely boosted in its power. And to do that to one of the quest required things is just not fair. I drop a couple of ballista to help by shooting things. Now, if you watch the good players, spoiler, I'm not one of those. A lot of them are just basically running through all the content, leaving stuff behind occasionally. If there's a batch of mobs that are worth good XP, they'll stop, they'll kill those, but mostly they just run. I'm a little better at that than I used to be, but I still can't quite bring myself to do it as much as I should. I Thing is, they'll also often say, you should also try to over-level yourself. Well, it's tough to do if you're running past all the content. Oh, 200% increased rarity of items dropped. That's nice. And attacks have a 25% chance to maim on hit. That's less nice. Come on, drop lots of fat loot from me, please. I like fat loot, and I cannot lie. Timely level up. Quick step aside here and increase our bow damage because it's a bow build. This shouldn't surprise you because I'm shooting things with a bow. So the build I got last league is the one I'm using here. The one I played most last league. Last league was a good enough league. I played, I think, 6 different builds of the map. This is going to be Lightning Arrow, Pathfinder. And what made it so strong last league is I had pretty good fortune in the loot I got. I got a 6-link, which I have very seldom had. I actually had like 3 or 4 of them. I've never had more than 1 in a league before. And then I got a stupidly good bow for the build. Actually, it wasn't my first build last league. It wasn't the Lightning Arrow. I was playing the first build. I don't even remember what the first build was. And I got the bow, and I recognized how good it was. So, yay me for that. Significant spirits. Defeat monsters with Necropolis modifiers complete. There's an NPC frog, I think, as one of the prior league mechanics, not former. And he has a sort of a crafting mechanic where you buy an item from him and he'll craft it. He'll offer you, do you want me to re-roll the suffixes 3 times and give you the best ones? And cost some of the league currency. And I ended up getting the ideal, almost the ideal bow for the build. The ideal bow would be tier 1 fire, lightning, and cold. I got tier 1 lightning and cold and tier 3 fire. It would have tier 1 crit hit and crit multi, which I got. And it would have tier 1 attack speed, which I couldn't get, so I used the top end crafted. All in all, it was an amazingly effective build for the build. Trying to defeat this thing, it doesn't go. There we go. Alright, we got an ancient spirit. Oh, he's back. The Gravedigger's back. This is the league mechanic for the new league. Where the hell did those guys come from? Alright, let's go to the Necropolis. We got a good bow the first time. We'll just go ahead and bury him. We're going to try to craft. Let's see if we can get boots with movement speed on them. It has +1 explicit modifier.
So that you may grace that was fleet's mess.
A little bit of life, a little bit of regen, little energy shield, mana, 1 resist. It's better than what I'm currently wearing, I think. Oh, but it doesn't have a green socket. I need more green sockets. So we'll hold on to that for now. We just exit then. Right. Back to the ledge. All right. All right. Take care of him. Oh, the ledge is this direction. So what you can do is you can build up the bodies, bury a whole bunch of bodies in one place, and all the modifiers should apply. But early on here, like the bow I'm using was a big improvement, and I did that on the very first one. So I think at the very beginning here, you probably don't want to bury a whole bunch of stuff and try and make super items. You just want to make useful stuff. That's my guess. Oh, wrong way. Don't go the wrong way, Lens. Try going the right way instead. And the wrong way again. There we go. The right way. I am getting lost in places that nobody should be getting lost, really. No. Another level for me. Obviously, I am leveling at a prodigious pace. Hard to match. More bow damage for me. Got a shrine over here. Holy crap! No wonder those things are terrible. They're awful. That was nearly death number 3. Very nearly death number 3. Sure, they didn't jack up the potency of everything around here, it feels like. Oh, is that a Legion showing up this early? Monolith. I didn't know that these could show up this early in the league. Huh. Well, I guess you learn something new every day. They definitely have increased the amount of time you have to use on these things. Basically, everything I'm breaking out of their shell here, they're basically all frozen in time. in 9 seconds, time is going to resume flowing, and they're all going to be very angry at me. I don't understand why. I'm really a nice guy once you get to know me. I didn't know that you could get a Legion that early. I was about to say that we kicked their ass, only we hadn't yet. There's still a couple of them to go. And right there, I reached over to move all the crafting mats into the separate crafting mat bag and then rearrange my inventory. Sadly, those are buttons this game doesn't have. I am infected with last epochniss. And occasionally getting some significant lag spikes, too. Not a fan. And I'm out of space. 3 to 5 fire is better. So we'll use that. We definitely want that. That's there. Grab that. Into the lower prison we go. Let's see what we've got. Movement speed. We would rather not have... Those guys have a lot of movement speed. Strongest monster in the pack gets 100% increased life. No, we would not like that either. We'll enter, and I will take just a second
There's no justice in a place like
to
this.
refill my coffee cup.
Only misery.
So, as is tradition amongst the PoE community, of which I am obviously one of the leading lights, the tradition is to do a cosplay for every league start. I hope you enjoy my cosplay. I am cosplaying as a lazy old man. I've been practicing for it for years. And I need to go through all the stuff in my inventory and identify some of it, and maybe use some of it. And sell the rest. If it'll ever load in. My God, the lag. Okay, in this case, what they're doing is they're loading in all of the graphics for all of the other players. Oh my God, the load-in times into town. Holy crap. I thought they fixed this last league. Maybe they have to fix it again every league. You can hear everyone's special visual effects. Can't see them yet. Still can't see them. Okay. We want to see what that vine circlet is. Ooh, this one's got more energy shield. We'll use that first. Int. Cold resist. Cold resist. Very good. We'll go ahead and take a look at the other one, though, in case it's awesomer. I think we need this one for the cold resist because we're headed towards a boss that has a lot of cold. Eventually. That's got 15 energy shield. We've got boots. That's got greens, so if it's got anything decent. It's got lightning resist. These were better, but I need more green sockets. How about that? That's got a green socket. 5 maximum life. It's better. At least keep a green socket there. That one we sell. We have to ID that one too? Yeah. Alright. An iron ring. We'll keep the one that's giving us life right now. Anything else here? No, the rest of it gets sold, mostly.
The tale of Brutus.
What do we get from her? Faster attacks, LMP. I'm not sure which one we take. Give me a sec, as I must check. The inevitable path of building. Let's see. Galvanic arrow, mirage arrow. Which are we taking? Faster attacks, LMP, added cold. I think we're taking added cold. Alright. We're going to sell. I need the green sockets. Sadly, I need the green sockets. Which was better? That has a green. Alright, now we'll rearrange stuff. We do not yet have a 3 green socket available. Well, we do, but they're not all linked. So we'll put the cold and the shrapnel ballista in there.
Yes?
Sell that.
God hasn't abandoned us.
We're also going to need to sell all of those. Yep.
Yes?
For a larger mana potion. I want to hold on to those shoes for later. We do actually, I think, want the momentum. And I think we threw away the burning arrow. We probably want that too. Alright, we can now continue with our gameplay after we talk to Tarkley, or Tark to Talkley.
There's a fine line between men.
Yes, there's a fine line between man and monster, he says. Don't suppose we've got anything in here with 3 green linked sockets. Gloves would be ideal. I would take even gloves with just almost anything on them. None of it's linked up in any convenient fashion. All right, well, back to the prison we go, where Brutus awaits eventually. I managed to miss, somehow, the waypoint on the climb. That's another thing I would like to add to the list of GGG. Why do you hate us? And make us click on the waypoints instead of just unlocking them when we get close? Why is this a thing? It shouldn't be a thing. Why is it a thing? But that's all of them. So many games require you to click on something to unlock the travel point. You know, once we can see it, that should be enough. It's chatters. Not like you guys talking in chat. That's the mob's name, is chatters. We just got yellow gloves and a 3-link short bow. We would give up a fair amount of stuff to swap over to it, but it might be worth it. Oh, we got another medium mana flask. Okay, that's good. We'll identify the gloves, accuracy, armor and evasion, a little rarity, some fire resist. And at some point, we'll want to see if we can't maybe turn that into something a little better by probably throwing an essence at it. And we have our first Trial of Ascendancy. For those who are not familiar with it, Trials of Ascendancy, you need to unlock all 6, and that'll open up the first of the labyrinths, and the labyrinth is how you get your Ascension spec, which is a more powerful addition to your regular spec. And I'm going to be very careful here and make sure I don't stupidly die, which is something I'm more than capable of doing, I'll have you know. These spikes will make you bleed. They'll do some damage and make you bleed, both. And if you move while bleeding, you take a lot more damage. I really detest these little necromancer mobs. Dabblers. They're just so annoying. Stop rezzing more monsters, you little shitbag. I just hate them. I've always hated them. They're really annoying. We've solved our first Trial of Ascendancy. Go us. Oh, we've got another body. You know, I'm going to go ahead and take him up on his offer. We're going to visit the Necropolis. One we just got is having the whatever we create will have an additional explicit modifier. We'll visit the Necropolis. And we're just going to drop it right here. And see what we get. I'm going to go, well, ooh, Quiver. Quiver we've got isn't that great, I don't think. No, it's got nothing. We're going to go with Quiver.
So that you may house their tools of justice!
Physical damage, cold damage, critical strike chance, critical strike multiplier, life gain, damage with bow skills. That's really good. And this is not. That, significant improvement. So, I want to give GGG full credit. Most of the time, a lot of their league mechanics are useless in the early game. especially a lot of times the leagues they spend the most effort on and have the most cool mechanics, they don't give you any useful rewards in the early game. This one has been so far very helpful in the early game, which is unusual. Like there was a league they did quite a while back called Synthesis League, and it had a lot of amazing mechanics and a very, very deep gameplay system, and this entire area is the dead end. Although it did have the trial. You needed the trial. But the synthesis system, while leveling, was utter trash. It was terrible. It literally wasn't worth doing and learning how the system works. As it never, ever, ever gave anything that was usable by a low-level character. Or usable at all. Low-level stuff was just trash. This has been very, very good so far. I've done 3 of them, and 2 of them were significant improvements to my gear. Early game. So good on you. GGG. Thank you. That is appreciated by me because I usually don't do the deep endgame stuff. I went pretty deep into the endgame in the last league. As it was the first time I've ever done all of the base maps. All 16 tiers of maps. And I did the Eater, the Exarch, and I did some of the Guardians. Normally, I'll make it into yellow maps, occasionally a little bit into reds, but not usually very far. So that was, and it was also a tie for the second highest level character I've ever had, or tie for the highest level character I've ever had, which was 93, I think. The upper prison. Oh, dear me. Lots of skeletons, increased attack and cast, increased movement speed, cell crawlers, zombies and necros, ghouls, pack leaders, very low, zombies and necromancers, they'll get the movement speed, and the cast and attack speed will go there. I don't want to fight these guys. Hell's Up is hitting really freaking hard. Oh, it's good old Sabo! Lucky me. Multiple summoning assholes. Did I mention that I don't like them? I may have mentioned that.
That would only slow me down.
Oh, we can get rid of that. At any rate. Oh, and that. I don't know why I had that in my inventory at all. In the first place. Scum Shriek is this fellow's name. A number of leagues back. Oh, we've got 2 of the Diabolists again. God, I hate these assholes so much. A number of leagues back, they increased the difficulty of the early game. Why? In a game that famously people quit very early? Nobody knows. They were going to do it for the whole game, but it was so unwelcome, they changed their mind. They didn't unroll or roll back the increase to the difficulty of the early game. No, of course not. They just decided not to increase the difficulty of the rest of the game, which was what their original intention was, to primarily do that. Decide, well, we'll do the early game first. And yeah, so the earliest part of the game is, in fact, in a lot of ways, the most difficult part of all. at least until you get to the very, very end. And that is one of the reasons why I described this game as being the most actively hostile game to new players in the world. I don't recognize that icon. A secret? They never had secret rooms in these levels before. What? That wasn't in the patch notes. At least not that I saw. I got 2 bismuth flasks. I don't think I need 2. Oh, that's a dead end. Dead end. My damage is for shit, frankly. Oh, good. Lightning and shock resistance. Care to guess what damage I'm doing? Spoiler. Lightning. Not much of a spoiler, really. You can see it's all going all the time. Now, the next stairwell is over here. Nope, that's dead end. Worse than a dead end. Doubling back. To find out that what you double back to is a dead end.
That would only slow me down.
Please, GGG, just give us a fucking sort the inventory button, please. I need to see, there wasn't, okay, there wasn't a button to examine
Quite
any
sure
additional
these
powers
aren't you
that the mobs might have on this level, because there's only one mob, Brutus, a boss. And he's going to try to kill me. Secret rooms in Microsoft Excel. That's, yeah, well, I mean, historically, Microsoft Excel has had a built-in flight simulator for years. I'm not sure if it's still there. But there's never been secret rooms outside of a couple of locations in the game. And so that's what threw me, is never seen that here before. You know, it had a strongbox. But that's just a new look. All right, let's go, Brutus.
Your frightened past echoes something so
You He wants to embrace me. Not on the first date.
Done for you what I would do for any wounded animal, Brutus.
Doesn't look like any of this is of any use to me. Nope. All right. Exile 95 had a Hall of Tortured Souls, Doom-like, first-person hidden area where the walls were covered with the names and faces of the developers. Well, I certainly can't knock them for wanting to do something a little special. Okay, 20% additional physical damage reduction. Well, physical damage reduction, I'm not doing much of that, so sure, give it to the bearded shamans, I guess. Oh, not the bearded shamans. Bearded devils, flame hellions. Give it to the flame hellions. I mean, I know if I was working on a software project of any kind, I would want to drop all kinds of Easter eggs.
With some death as well.
Unfortunately, those might be good, but we can't realistically find out. Sell that. Again, we need the greens right now. No. +1 to level of socketed bow gems. That's actually really good. I will take a moment and see if that will improve our damage. Currently, we do about 102 DPS. And if we move these over to here, 93. So the +1 levels is not good enough, sadly. As just the flat damage numbers here are so much better. Sell that. Sell that. Do we want to take the chance and go for 3 greens? 3 linked greens using our first Orb of Alchemy, which will turn this into a rare item. How much do we need to get? Give me lots of damage numbers. Adds 2 to 11 lightning, increased attack speed. This is actually going to be better. 23% increase. Wow, we got lucky. So currently we're doing 102.5. A straight transfer across. Gives us 139.5. Now we add on the added cold damage. 163. So we've increased our damage by about 60%.
Be well.
Which seems to me to be pretty good. We'll go ahead and we'll give this one an affinity for flasks, and we'll start saving up our flasks. That was a extremely good use of our first alchemy. Blink arrow, whirling blade, smoke mine, precision. Do we grab... Give me a sec, I need to check my POB. We get precision? My brain is telling me we get precision. No. Looks like blink arrow, but I'm not a huge fan of blink arrow as an additional travel skill, but fine. It's another green. We've got room for it, barely. Okay. We'll put that there. What do we want on our shrapnel ballista? Arrow Nova, if we can get that. She got Arrow Nova? Nessa, do you have an Arrow Nova for us? Arrow Nova support. Cool. Drop that. In with the shrapnel ballista. And we should now have significantly better damage. I'm just cool like that. Very lucky with the alchemy. And everybody's favorite item in the game, a shabby jerkin. Because I know a lot of us feel shabby after jerkin. We got 2 critters. Ooh,
What have you got for me today, Exile?
what can we get that might be better? Ooh, an amulet maybe? Or a ring? How about an amulet? Let's go for an amulet.
Oh.
We're going to double up on this one. This will be our first double corpse use in the Necropolis. Or the Necropolis. The Necropolis is what happens when the end of the world and you're trying to bury everyone. Chance of life modifiers and chance of fire modifiers. Okay. Bury. Bury. And I think because they're adjacent, should be both. We'll go for jewelry. Oh. Belt. Belt, ring. Probably ring because we have 2 of them, so it doesn't necessarily exclude us from getting another good one. We'll go with that.
So that you may guide their hands to success!
Okay, so that was both of them. It has fire damage, cast speed. We didn't get life, even though it was supposed to have increased chance of life. That's disappointing. The fire damage, cast speed. Cast speed's not helpful. Fire damage, minimally helpful, because that's a %, not flat. Evasion rating, not much. The fire resistance is okay. So, that one we struck out on. That was not one that paid off. But I'm learning more about the system. Plus, I got a shabby jerkin. Another level. Pretty sure. Want to double check? Again. Yes, that is correct. All right. We have got another essence monster here. That's the NPC for the lead mechanic. Ooh, yellow quality, rare quality arrow quiver. It conceivably could be better than the one I've got, although the one I've got is pretty good. Drumroll. A lot of life. The life is good right now. More important, I think, than the damage numbers we get out of this one. Alright. And I believe we're about to have our first visit with Piety. We get to kill her a lot.
Put a dent in your
Takes a while for it to stick. First character to enter the Ashen Fields is Havoc Necropolis. I do believe that the build I am playing is Havoc's lightning arrow from last week. He's a good player. I'm me. Aw, thank you, Kanugget. Me is enough. That's very kind. On this stream, it's gonna have to be. See, other streamers, they give you quality gameplay. They give you inventive cosplay for League Start. I give you bad jokes. And my ineffable charm? Although it's not really ineffable. I mean, people might say, yeah, F your charm. So it's not ineffable. The ship graveyard awaits. Oh, come on. Yeah, you're coming. So let me deal with the league mechanic. What do we got? 20% increased pack size. That's okay. 20% increased chance to evade hits. We'd rather they didn't. More damage for each alive monster in the pack. Ooh, that's for each lot. That's not good. I don't like that. We give that to the Roas. Sure. The ship graveyard awaits.
Life and death live side by side.
That's another level for me. Not sure where I go from here. Once again, Path of Building. Yeah, okay. Left side, top side. Down. Already it started, and then top side. Right, got it. Got it. We continue. Alright, we will shortly be running into a ghost pirate. Well, there's some ghost pirates, but we'll be running into a named one. He wants us to get something, and then he will betray us because he's a ghost pirate. That's what they do. Evidently. In my experience, they all are betrayers. Charles L. Charles. I don't know the reference. I know Chuck E. Cheese, but not Charles L. Charles. I'm going to assume that that's some form of ghost pirate. Or you were commenting to something and I didn't notice earlier. One of those two things is my guess. Ah, LeChuck, the ghost pirate from the Monkey Islands. There you go. Okay, see? I played the first Monkey Island, but I played the first Monkey Island when it first came out. I was young and innocent. Okay, that was neither of those things, but I was younger.
It's dirty work, but somebody's got to do it. What?
Let's go ahead and visit the Necropolis, and We'll move over here and try this one. And what do we want to craft? Let's see. Gloves are okay. A belt, maybe? We have +1 to explicit modifiers. Let's go with the amulet. Our amulet is for crap right now. We'll just go ahead.
So that you may guide their hearts to glory!
Horror Rosary. 14 int. Global crit strike chance. A little life, a little mana, a little life with enemy hit per attack. Better than what we're using. Special edition of 1 and 2 they released a few years ago. It was quite good. I actually got Ron Gilbert back to write a 5th mainline game, and I enjoyed it. Well, that's... If you take a well-loved piece of almost any kind of media that people love, and you treat it respectfully, most of the time, people will be happy with the result. If you treat it disrespectfully, they will burn you in effigy. And if they can get away with it, not even effigy. Don't know how I didn't run into Fairgraves. But I haven't. Don't know how I didn't run into him. Runs into him. Well, yeah.
Frankly, I would have been stuck.
Farewell, farewell.
We never did find out, as far as I know, what Smedley was working on for Amazon. But we know he left Amazon within like the last year. Yeah, Smedley did us dirty. I know he was in charge, but it isn't completely fair to put all of the blame for the NGE on him. It is, however, entirely fair to put a whole bunch of the other stuff on him. Maybe he was on the Lord of the Rings that has been on and off canceled. No, he was working on a separate project for them. The original Lord of the Rings that they had was being made by Leyu Games, L-E-Y-O-U. They're the company that owns Digital Extremes, the guys who make Warframe. And they got bought out. Lock, stock, and proverbial barrel by Tencent, I believe. And so when Tencent got involved, Amazon said no, thank you, no. Then somehow the Embracer Group, led by the shithead Lars Wingefors, managed to buy the license during their spending spree that happened while they were sure they were getting the money from the Saudis. When the Saudis buggered off, they were left holding a bag full of debt and hard to start selling off assets. For instance, they recently sold off Gearbox, which was sold off like 2 days ago. And they sold the rights to Amazon for the Lord of the Rings MMO that Amazon is currently working on. The general consensus in the Reddit for New World is that a lot of the devs have been pulled off New World and put onto the Lord of the Rings. I have no idea if that's based in any kind of fact or not, but it is a commonly held point of view. Lars Wingefors was so enthused to make a deal with the devil, almost literally, and take $2 billion in Saudi money, and was just buying up every property he could get his greedy little hands on. And now they've all been having layoffs and everything because he has all of these debts to pay off that he got grabbing the money to buy all the things that he didn't care about other than to make the deal with the Saudis. In short, fuck Lars Wingefors. Cavern of Wrath. Let me go ahead and grab the waypoint, and then we'll go back to the ship graveyard. Because there's something we still need to find here. Oh, there it is. The ship graveyard cave. What do we got? More damage for each alive monster in the pack. I'm not a fan of that. So smaller pack size for that. Strongest monster in the act gets increased damage. That's reasonable. Sounds a lot like Bob Iger's term in Disney, cough, Lucas, Pixar, Fox now. Massive, unplayable debt for Hulu. Well, that's actually, it's pretty much standard business through far too much of modern commerce, so to speak. Take debt, buy stuff, stock go up, take your bonus, leave, stock go to shit. You see it in Boeing. Boeing is the perfect example these days. They were all they were interested in was fast stuff to pump up short-term profits at the expense of long-term viability of the company. And look what happened. Planes started falling out of the air. Well, okay, not whole planes, but significant chunks of planes started falling off. That's because right now, if you want to get rich in business, it's not by creating a stable, long-term, market-dominant force. It's driving up quarter-over-quarter earnings for a few years and getting a big bonus. One door closes, a porthole window opens. Very nice. Fat Buddy! Good evening. Whoop, sorry. Afternoon. Possibly evening for you. Shouldn't be, though. I was just railing against capitalism. You know. My usual fare. The All Flame, which we need to take back to Fairgraves. Wow, that's new. It empties you out right next to Fairgraves. At least that feels new. All right, he's going to betray me because he's a pirate ghost and he can't help himself. So he sends his ghosty, piratey friends and buddies. Hi, Fairgraves. Sit down.
Man in a bad situation, Fairgraves.
2 o'clock. 2 hours into the league. And I'm level, what, 15? Highest level. If anyone's speeding, they're probably in like Act 8. Large mana flask. I'm still working on... I actually kind of have to do something about that, I think. That was blue. I thought it was yellow. Dag nabbit. That one's yellow. We'll want that for dealing with Merveil, for sure. The cold resist. And cold resist. And fire resist. And damage to attack. Sure, we'll take that. And...
Fairgraves was a good...
yeah. A skill point. For those of you who are not familiar with Path of Exile, and see me opening this up, I think this was on the top. One sec. Need to double check. Yeah. We start getting the movement speed and spell suppression. This is the spec tree. The skill tree, as they call it. There are 7 different places you can start on the tree. That's your beginning class. Certain types of nodes appear in certain areas, but will usually have similar nodes on like the other side of the tree, so that any character who's up in that area can usually get at least a little bit of it. But we're starting here. This is mostly bows for the most part. Here is guys with big weapons, and here is casters. And then in between are sort of the hybrids. Hi, Nessa.
Merveil dwells in, if you must.
Okay, Toxic Rain, no. Rain of Arrows. Lightning Arrow. This is our primary skill we're going to have in the game. The Lightning Arrow build. We currently are doing 207. And this should give us 338.9. A significant increase. Also, I should probably get...
What little help I can offer.
The lag in town is dreadful. I should probably get a bigger life flask than what I have, because right now mine kind of suck. Actually, they don't kind of suck. They really suck. All right, now we'll sell stuff. It is raining here today.
Take care.
Temperature in low 50s, so let's see. 10 would be 2, so 12 Celsius, I think. Something like that. Back to Merveil's Cavern, where a boss awaits. 50 is 10, right, yeah, so, but it's low 50s, so 54 would be 12. Yeah, I'm actually relatively quick with the math. Because the math is relatively simple. Although most people aren't going to be aware. 10 degrees Celsius, you divide it by 5, gives you 2. Multiply times 9, gives you 18. You add 32, that's 50. Minus 1 Celsius, so that means they are at 30 degrees Fahrenheit, for those of you who need the help. He says it's nice and balmy. I think he's barmy for saying it's nice and balmy. The number of times I have been in that temperature is like twice in my life. And in at least one of those cases, I had to go to Reno to get that cold. Devout disciples devoted to Rislatha complete. Not sure what that is, but it was minus 30 not long ago. This is very nice. Well, certainly in comparison, I would agree that minus 30, which by the way would be minus 6 times 9 minus 54 plus 32 would be minus 22 Fahrenheit, if my numbers are right. The other time I can remember being in temperature that cold, my family had a cabin in Northern California when I was a kid, and one time we had perfect powder snowfall overnight. The kind that you won't see in the movies. The fluffy, wonderful, even though it's cold out, the snow itself is just actually delightful. And it's the only time in my life I did sort of the standard thing, snowball fight, snow angel type of stuff. I normally did the shoveling. A lot of times when we arrived, there would still be packed snow on the front deck. Sometimes as much as like 2 feet, and the bottom 4 inches would be solid ice. Now, by then, the temperatures, we would go up in June. And sometimes there would still be snow on the ground, and then not uncommonly, snow on the deck. But the temperatures themselves were very nice. Quicksilver Flask, Essence of Torment. Essence of Torment! So yes, I do have the dubious pleasure of having shoveled snow. The snow wasn't bad, but it was pretty icy above, and then, 3 or 4 inches of solid ice at the bottom. That was not fun. We are getting some definite lag spikes, and I'm not a fan. The family cabin was near Lassen Volcanic National Park. Which is an active geothermal area and has an amazing array of very cool places to go and things to do. My grandfather worked for the Forestry Service and often had to spend summers up there, and my dad would go with him, and so my dad was used to that area from when he was a kid. Yeah, a lot of hot springs. Drake Lake, which is an entire lake that is a sickly turquoise color, and I think acid. Fumaroles, sulfur springs, so yeah, all kinds of cool, interesting things. Back then it was much, much less traveled than Yosemite. Everyone wanted to go to Yosemite. They still do. Should be fine. We never went to Yosemite because we had first of all, we used to camp up in the area in Lassen, but eventually my dad bought a cabin. And that was how he would relax during his weeks of vacation. The time of vacation he had every summer We'd spend a total of 3 weeks up there because that was the amount of time of vacation he had. And he would do fishing and sit on the porch and read. He really, really enjoyed that relaxation. As a kid, of course, there was nothing to do, so I hated it. No, I didn't hate it. But once I stopped fishing, it wasn't anywhere near as interesting as it had been. I mean, there was always something to do because of all the various areas within hiking. We did some backpacking out of that into the actual national park itself, Lassen Volcanic National Park. Alright, we currently have caster modifiers, which do me no good, and life modifiers. I'm going to wait for a few more modifiers to choose from. Went to Miette Hot Springs near Jasper once. That was fun. One of the coolest things I can remember, probably not very smart, was we were fishing, and there was still a fair amount of snow on the ground. And we got to one of the hot springs, and that area, obviously, the water from the hot springs was just flowing down, and it just felt nifty and cool to lay down in the hot water alongside the snow. Also, the most beautiful place I ever saw was close to our cabin. We got our water from a natural spring, and if you followed the pipe that brought the water down to our cabin and the cabin next to ours, it led to this incredibly beautiful glade where you'd climb up the hill, and at the very top was a large open area without trees. A bunch of flat stones sort of all gathered around with the water literally bubbling up through it, and the whole scene looked like a movie set. It just looked unreal. It was so pristine. Am I going the right way? I think not. I think I need to be going this way. There's actually a spa and hotel inside the park, in the near the area where our cabin was. Drake's Bad. And you can get reservations and stay at the hotel there, I think, unless things have changed. Oh, dead end. That's where we came in. I have managed to double back, and now I've got a long, long trip back to where we just were. It's a gift I have. I've mentioned it. You guys may not realize how rare it is to see a PoE player so bad at doubling back through things, empty spaces where he's killed all the mobs. That's the entertainment of the game, really. Is walking through empty spaces. This is why we play the game. Not really. I'm making that up. And this feels like another dead end, because it is. Don't believe Lenz, he lies a lot. Guessing not a fan of Metroid or Castlevania style games. I I never played either one, but I am familiar with it, and I would say that, yeah, that's a fair assessment, that I am not a fan of that kind of mechanic where there's lots of backtracking by design. No, I prefer... It depends, actually. I should be clear. If the backtracking is speedy and doesn't require you to kill the same mobs over and over and over again every time you re-enter a map, a node-based, hub-based game system can be just fine. Going back through the same map, especially if the mobs are exactly the same and having to fight those exact same mobs every time, that I despise. If they change things up. For instance, in this game, Acts 1 through 5 go through a series of maps. Acts 6 through 10 sort of run you through the same maps, but everything has changed. The monsters have changed, the layout's changed. The idea, at least with Metroid, is you revisit previously explored areas once you have a new ability or a weapon that opens new pathways in the old areas. Right, yeah, basically you get keys, and the doors you couldn't open before you can open now. And so, as long as it's not running through large amounts of empty areas or fighting the exact same mobs over and over and over, then it can be a good, involving, interesting system from my point of view. Which is obviously, given the success of those games, not necessarily the majority view. And where are we heading next on our tree? That direction. Down and then to the right. Down and to the right. All right, Mervale awaits. Okay, Mervale. What's our... She has a lot of cold. We would like to have a lot of cold resist. We have 38% cold resist. It's okay. A little better would be better, but... Hi, Mervale. Alright, and now she is a horrible tentacular monster. Is tentacular a word? It feels like it should be a word. Tentacled would certainly be a word. Don't think tentacular actually is, but, it should be. Almost got her, almost got her, got her.
Your love for a man, that's what did this to you, Mervale.
Tentacular is? Yes! According to Merriam-Webster. Of relating to or resembling tentacles. Or equipped with tentacles. Well, I don't know if she had 10 of them. Oh, stop me before I pun again. Or joke again. Bad joke, actually. Not really a pun. Got anything here that is usable? Maybe. One of those two, probably. Life, strength, energy shield. It's not great. How about this one? Life, regen, mana, lightning resist, stun, reflex, fizz. We'll go with the one with more life. Because in the words of Roy Batty in Blade Runner, on the TV version, I want more life, father. I'm so glad tentacular is actually a word. I need to AFK a sec and grab the last of my coffee. I will be right back. And I'm back. There we go. It's the first time I have seen the Goblin Band. Thank you. Seen and heard the Goblin Band in the new league. Besto? Quite the lady killer. Aha, yes, I killed Merveille. I don't suppose you'd happen to have any, oh, I don't know, 4 links? I don't think those actually show up just yet.
Farewell.
Quiet down there. You're a flask. Why aren't you going into the flask thing that I set up? I could have sworn I set it up. Now it works. All right, well. Act 2 in 2 hours and 30 minutes, but I had about 20 minutes where I had to deal with a phone outage here. Give full marks to AT&T for their service. I called at like 9 this morning telling them my phone didn't have a dial tone. The guy shows up and basically like 10 minutes into the league at 12:10, so 3 hours plus. Looks like I had 2 issues pop up at the same time, which seems a little unlikely, and yet I had an old splitter on one of the phone lines that was originally on for isolating the DSL. And he removed that. You know, and so this has failed after being there for almost 30 years. All of a sudden it stops working. And that fixes one problem, but doesn't fix another. And it looks like the base unit on my phone / answering machine also went bad. And unplugging that then fixed the other problem. So it wasn't one thing that went bad, it was two things at the same time. Which doesn't seem likely, and yet, you know, I've worked with technology long enough to know, yeah, that happens sometimes. Where one thing is just sort of broken, kind of working. Until something else breaks, and then the whole thing falls apart. Answering machine, that's a name you haven't heard in a long time. Hey, I've got a landline. This is my landline that went bad. Well, one of the reasons for it is I live in earthquake country. And our landlines were all working after the Loma Prieta quake. Most of the cell stuff wasn't working. Basically, the good old POTS, plain old telephone service, you know? It just works. Except, obviously, yesterday when mine stopped working. When both things went wrong at the same time. It's just weird. That's all. It's weird. I can't imagine this is going to be any better. There's virtually no possibility it will be better. I'm not even going to bother to identify it. And that's how sure I am. How certain I am. Wow. Wow. Lag. You're stuck in tornado land. Yeah, you wouldn't know about the earthquakes, but I don't know though. If the wires are on poles, then I wouldn't imagine your landlines would be reliable under those circumstances. If they're buried, should be good to go.
Going. I have seen many. Don't keep your wits about you.
Talk to everybody. Hi guys, how you doing? Did dollars of damage and knocked over a lawn chair. Will rebuild. You think one technically had one earthquake? Yeah. Well, thing is the Loma Prieta hit here, and for instance, it was big enough that our Cray supercomputer bounced along the floor several inches, and the Cray supercomputer drives, which are hard drives, 8 of them, washing machine sized, 30 gigabytes. And they were scattered around like someone had run in and started pushing everything in random directions. But when I got home, my lamp, which is right here, had fallen over onto my bed, and one of the stacks of books on my floor had fallen over. That was the only noticeable effect of a 7.0 earthquake that basically went right through us.
You and me. The road.
We do build for them around here.
Be well.
Most of the people who died in the Loma Prieta quake were in the superstructure on the freeway that collapsed. Now, here's a scary thing. I believe the largest earthquake ever measured in the continental U.S. was in the 1830s in New Madrid. That's in the middle of the country. If that was to hit today, the damage, the deaths, I think the closest large city to it is Nashville. All of those old buildings in the middle of the country that are built with brick or older building engineering, how many of those are just going to fall over if they get a big quake? The New Madrid quake was so big that the ground wave made the Mississippi River flow backwards. Supposedly because here in the West we've got the plates that slide against each other and cause the earthquakes. But that was in one large continental plate. And so the shake was felt hundreds of miles away and reportedly rang church bells in Boston. From New Madrid to Boston. I'm guessing 1,000 miles, maybe more. Largest earthquake we had this year was something adorably itty-bitty like 2.8. I've seen tornadoes form around me at once, though. Yeah. Well, and at 2.8, the thing is, keep in mind, that's the magnitude is measuring Earth movement in the local place. And if you are at the 2.8, it's not a small deal. A short ways away, you might not feel it at all. But the second strongest one I've ever felt was, I think, a 3.2 that, in essence, ignited in our basement of my home. But I've always had a genuine fear of tornadoes. My assumption is it comes from The Wizard of Oz. What do we got? Additional physical damage reduction. That's fine. Chance to maim on hit. I'm not really enthused about that one. Physical damage is extra fire damage. Definitely not a fan of that. Hairy bone crunchers. I guess we'll stick with the stone type this time. All right, in we go. I'm not going to lie, though. We get a decent shake, and it still scares the crap out of me. Large life flask. That's 360. That's 250. Funnily enough, a tornado once touched down about 3 miles from me not too long ago. Learned to live with the warnings and watches. If it happens, it happens. Not like you can stop it. No, all you can do is get in the bathtub and pray. No, there was one that actually touched down. Like I said, 3 miles. No damage was done, but it touched down. And I also remember used to live in basically what amounted to the Oakland Hills. And there was I don't remember the World Series game. I think it was a World Series game where they were having it was at the Oakland Coliseum, and they were experiencing a rain delay. But we could see from where we were on the hill that it wasn't just raining, that a funnel cloud had descended about halfway down from the cloud level towards the Oakland Coliseum. And I remember being just terrified of that as a kid, seeing that going, oh my God, it's going to kill everyone. Get in the basement, put your head between your knees, and kiss your arse goodbye. Yep, sounds about right. We're headed here next. His name is Nice. He is not, in point of fact, nice. Bet you weren't expecting a little geology humor today. Okay, humor maybe not the right word to describe that. At all. Is this the exit? Oh no, it's the entrance to the den. That's what we're looking for. What do we have? Let's see. Strongest monster in the pack gets increased damage. No. How about a very small number of monsters in those packs? Increased attack and cast speed, additional physical damage reduction. Sure, whatever. In we go. Got another strong box over there. We'll drop a couple more Ballistae? Not sure. Can I have 2 or 3? I can have 3. Just not getting anything that's particularly useful. Yeah, I can sell those for a little bit. Really, just not getting anything useful. Not getting any chromatic items that I can sell. Not getting any rare items. I'm just getting jobbed here. Kate Pies is another game executive like to burn in effigy. You're listening, CSIS. Helm's Deep killed Latra. Well, yeah. It's an incredible piece of visual game architecture. I will say that positive thing for Helm's Deep. Generally, I was not a fan of Rohan. It went on at least 10 levels too long. I haven't found the Great White Beast yet. Why haven't I found the Great White Beast? Their world constructors generally do very good work. Well, yeah, I still consider Minas Tirith to be a masterpiece of game architecture. But the gameplay gutting was atrocious. Yeah, I don't disagree at all. I don't know what they thought they were trying to do. Like, basically borrowing design that WoW had dumped years before. Just seemed like an odd take to me. Pies was explicit. She wanted trees because WoW had them. No, WoW had used to have them. WoW had gotten rid of them by that time, I think. They've now brought them back. Attack modifiers and life modifiers. I'm gonna give it a shot. We're gonna take a chance here. Let's see. Let's find a nice place to bury these things. Right here, next to the. Wow. Right next to the crypt. We are going to drop the attack modifiers and the life modifiers. And we're going to make ourselves a helm.
So that you may allow them to be headstrong.
Add past tense. Oh, yeah. And strength, intelligence, life, lightning, resistance. Not especially exciting. Guess it's a little better than what we've got. Although we give up a little energy shield, fine. It's very, very slightly better. And yet still disappointing. Thanks, Undertaker Aramore, I guess. Dead end. We know how well I take dead ends, don't we? And this is, I think, is another dead end here. It is. Perfect. Lovely. Love it. This is just a very, very strange layout for this. I've noticed the last couple leagues there seem to be very strange layouts in some of the maps. We didn't used to have them. mean, this is supposed to have 2 entrances, this map. And you enter in one, and as you work your way towards the other entrance / exit, you run into the boss mob you're supposed to kill. But that's obviously not the case. Another dead end. Did I kill the boss mob? I didn't think I had. I guess I did. It says travel to the forest encampment, so I guess I did kill it. I didn't even notice. I didn't even realize I'd seen it yet. Alright, I'll back out over here, I guess. So far, the league mechanic this league seems to be a little bit more straightforward than the previous one. The previous league's mechanic was, once you got the hang of it, was very, very rewarding. And so this one doesn't seem to be quite as overpoweredly rewarding, at least at lower levels. But we'll see. Chance to suppress spell damage. I don't do spell damage. That's fine. I'd rather not have them have extra life, but okay. Yeah. It's a magical cleaver. You might even say it's an eldritch cleaver. That's a reference nobody here is going to get. Nobody's going to get that. Pop back to town and empty out my inventory and cash in that quest. Eldritch Cleaver was a black activist in the 60s and 70s. And was not, as far as I am aware, actually a meat cleaver with magical abilities. I may just not be aware of it. That's possible. The goat hide boots could have movement. A little bit of life. No, we still need the links on that one. Sadly.
What?
Clang, 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 clang.
Going.
I believe we're doubling back, so to speak, over here. Where do we go from there? Where do we go from here? Okay, down there. So we'll be heading here. We'll be grabbing this precise technique. We'll have to make sure we get some accuracy. And then bow mastery or evasion mastery? I didn't notice. Probably bow. Yeah, bow mastery. Which will be here. Get us to Farsight. Increased accuracy with bows, so we'll grab those first, and then we'll grab that. Alright, got it. We have a plan. A man, a plan, a canal. Panama. Oh, that's pretty crap. See if we can get lucky. Slightly better, I think. It's got regen. This one's got regen. Yeah, maybe a tiny bit. Meet Einhar in the riverways. here. We need to kill 3 bandits because they're bad. Bossy dude. That's like, keep wailing on the ballista. Ibophobiacs, beware. Ibo. I'm not sure. What's the root? Ibo. Barrow apes. Fear of palindromes? Really? I say really. Oh, the name itself is a palindrome. That's pretty good, gotta say. That does explain why I didn't know the root. Speaking of phobias, I mentioned last night, I think, maybe the night before, possibly the night before that, recently, that I installed a game, I think it was Nightingale, where they have a setting for arachnophobes that turn off spiders in the game. They're replacing them with something else. Not sure what. And I commented that I thought it was silly, because how many people have a debilitating fear of spiders to the point that that needs to be important? Especially when there's so many other phobias that can be equally debilitating that nobody seems to care about. But for some reason, spiders get special treatment. That's why people hate them so much. Okay, that probably isn't accurate. But I'm sticking with it anyway. I mean, it's certainly likely that there is a small subset of people who have arachnophobia so extensive that it is debilitating and keeps them from playing a game. But really? Is it that many? Yeah, trypanophobia and not asking for syringes and other puncturing implements to be removed from games and films. Yeah. I have a terrible phobia about basically insects. The bigger and more chitinous they are, the worse. Strangely enough, I don't really have a problem with crabs or lobster. But beetles? Or praying mantises? Yeah. You know, you see the scene in the second Indiana Jones film where there's all the bugs and you have to reach in and pull the little lever to let Indy and Short Round out of the trap that's going to squish them. And she turns her hand, she's got this huge bug on it. And yeah, I go, when I watch. I can't watch. It's awful. I don't want bugs taken out of games. Ever fight Bogbareth? Yep, I fought Bogbareth. Half mantis, half silverfish things from Moria. Half mantis, half silverfish. I mean, I must have, because I've spent so much time in Moria over the years. Bogbareth was a big spider, for those who don't know.
Your travel.
Creighton, they call him the King of Rats. Which I gotta say is not a very You know, it doesn't sound like it's a great appellation for people to call you by, but, I mean, it could be worse. Stop hopping around, you jerk. Just take your whooping.
Now.
Beetleish, some silverfish-like, all buggy. Yeah, I mean, they creep me out. Images and games of bugs. But it's certainly not debilitating. Back to town. The lag in town is back from last league. After a week or two, they changed up stuff
Seen warriors in black in the east.
to fix it, but evidently it's unfixed.
Going. What do you want?
What I want to punch you in the face, Groost. You're such a jerk. I'll sell those. That's 3 green linked. That's pretty good. We can add something onto our shrapnel ballista. God, the lag in town is fucking terrible. What have they done? Sell that. I'm going to head back to the first town, buy another support gem and another skill gem. I am not a fan at all of dash. I'm much more of a fan of flame dash. Cosmetics building up over time. Yeah, less homogeneity of characters, more memory required. Yeah, that's... Well, and in this particular case, they don't load in all of the graphics for all of the MTX until you go to town. And then it has to load them in for every character or every MTX that isn't currently loaded.
Hello.
We'll add more cold damage on to our ballistae. Flame dash. No flame dash? Really? Huh. Guess not.
Take care.
Would have sworn it would have been available by now, but I would have sworn wrong. I would have been incorrect. I mean, I myself am wearing just a couple of cosmetics. We've got a little more time. There we are. The armor attachment. We want the Harlequin wings, obviously. Thank you. That guy stands right in front of me. Boots. Night Lotus boots, I think. Footprints. Nightfall? Yeah, Nightfall. Gloves. Night Lotus. Helmet attachment. No, I like the hat just the way it is. It's fine. Pets. We want the Harlequin Pranksters. And the Hypnotoad. And for our portal. Oh, we got that awesome one last league out of they had occasionally they'll give out you can pick up a random MTX box inexpensively. And I got the cane toad, and it's the best. There is no doubt about that. Okay, it's now in use. There we go. I will show you the cane toad in a minute. We'll go with the Undertaker weapon, because after all, it's the Necropolis League. There we go. Now I look every bit as visually spammy as everybody else. Next up, I think Crossroads North to the Chamber of Sin. Yep, travel to the Chamber of Sins. Also known as my bedroom. No sinning gets in it. Hell, I don't even sleep in there anymore. Many years ago when I was going through one of my issues with my back, long time back problem, I was having incredible problem sleeping in the bed, so I tried to sleep on the couch, and it worked so much better. I've been sleeping on the couch ever since. So 15 years maybe 20. The bedroom is storage now. The Chamber of Sins, 5% physical damage is 25% physical damage is extra fire. Oh, and extra cold. Potato, potato.
Luxury and cruelty go hand in hand.
Sometimes you can just face tank things. Got another essence. Ooh, this guy's got lots of stuff he does. Lightning damage and exposure, caustic ground on death, lightning mirage when hit. He's come over all dead, so we're giving him the day off. Other named monster. This is the Black Death. As you would expect with that moniker. Really friendly. Welcoming. Always glad to say hi. This is a Vol side area, the Overlord's secret lab. Now, the monsters and a lot of the items in here are corrupted, which means they can be randomly, significantly more powerful. But a lot of good things can drop out of the Vault side areas, so it's generally worth doing. The visuals in them, however, can be very difficult to see anything. One more here. There. Spooters! Warning, if you're arachnophobic. Tough. Life is hard for anyone. The problem I have with spiders is when they catch you by surprise. So occasionally, you know, there will be a spider appearing in a place I didn't expect, and I'll squeal like a little girl. More than usual. Drum roll, please. Vol Ice Shot, Vol Molten Strike. No particular winners for me there. Dead end. Dead end. Dead end, dead end, dead end, dead end, dead end. Can I? That's why I can't get through. There's a monster there. I couldn't see. How rude. That's a dead end too. I swear, in the last 2 leagues, I've had more problems getting lost in maps that I've done dozens and dozens of times. Spindle spiders. And the way down is here. And the Chamber of Sins level 2. Increased movement speed. And we'll drop it on the spooters. There is also a labyrinth trial in the area that we have to find. They're getting rid of the labyrinth in PoE 2. I know it makes a lot of people happy, but I actually thought it was even while I've grown tired of it over the years, I thought it was an incredibly nifty piece of game design. That's a dead end. Not sure why there were all of these spell gems just sitting around, but there were. In that it's a little bit like a puzzle labyrinth that you need to work your way through to earn access to your ascension. Basically sort of an elite spec. And if you fail in the labyrinth itself, you have to go back to the beginning. So you can't death march it, you have to actually succeed. But I do understand after all these years of doing it, it's gotten me. So how ascensions are going to work, I don't know in PoE 2. A lot of people seem surprised that PoE 2 wasn't the closed beta they had announced was coming in earlier was going to be delayed. I was rather surprised that anyone was surprised that it was going to be delayed. Guys, seriously. Every time they've talked about it, they've emphasized the things that aren't done with it yet. So. We'll see about PoE 2. They're making a lot of changes, and they have shown in some of the quality of life changes they announced for this league. Was kind of reassuring to see. That basically, they even said that there were a couple of the things that Last Epoch was doing, where they went, why don't we do this? You know, this is a quality of life thing that is all the players would like. It doesn't require much from us. It doesn't, you know, compromise on any gameplay elements. Why don't we just make this thing easier? Okay. Trial of Ascendancy. These are rotating saw blades. Make you bleed a lot if you let them hit you. But if you've got a movement skill, you can get by them. Although not always. For instance, that switch, which we have to hit twice, allows you to change the timing on them. Superior ancestral cry. 17%. Nice. Thought I hit it a second time to open the door. I didn't. Whoop. Oopsie. I hit the button, but nothing happened. Click on the Ascendancy plaque. Make sure we unlock the trial. I hate these bastards. The summoning asshole bastard. Just die. I detest them. I loathe them. With every ounce of my being. And I missed one somewhere. The fuck? The prison? Where did I miss one? Oh my god. I'm so bad. Didn't used to be that bad at this game. They couldn't have swapped the order of them. Piety again, I think. Piety again.
You again? Well, I'm sure you won't be looking so calm once that monstrosity tears you in the arm.
That thing! It slaughtered everyone! Help me!
The Delitas of the morning. Oh, he died in a most agreeably quick fashion. Talk with Helena.
Piety was after a creation.
Her last name's Wheels. Helena Wheels. Back in town. Oh! You didn't get to see the frog. I'll try and get Froggy up for you. Froggy he's a delight. One of the best MTX's cosmetic things I've ever seen in a game. I was extremely chuffed to use that. Oh, there it is. There it is. He's a Froggy. He's adorable Froggy, and you step into his mouth, and then you step back out of his mouth, and some people might find that creepy, I suppose. The Silken Vest is good. We could use it. 48 energy shields compared to 17. We lose some int, some strength. Yeah, I think we would like that. And the Greaves, if they've got movement. What would be nice? A little bit of life, armor, what tiny little resists. Probably better. Not really. Can't even convince myself. I can't talk myself into it. Poacher's Mark. Herald of Agony. Herald of Ice. Herald of Thunder. Herald of Ash. Ensnaring Arrow. Blood Rage. Arctic Armor. Frenzy. I think we need eventually Frenzy. I think. But a little Herald of Thunder action for now, I think. Sell stuff to Groost. Hold on to the Baleful Gem. A couple of wall gems, our first quality gem. That is the Goblin Band that they added with the last league, previous league, that has not been a hit with many of the players. I don't mind it yet. It doesn't happen that where it plays its music often enough, but it pisses off a lot of people, which is entirely predictable. I have to talk to Helena in my hideout. The reason it's entirely predictable, anyone who ever played WoW in the early days would know about the choo-choo train toy, where you'd activate it and your character would go choo-choo-choo-choo-choo-choo-choo, woot woot, and people would chain activate it. If you are a developer and you give a mechanic for players to grief other players, they will use it.
I've taken the liberty of
Don't
performing a few
fucking
tests.
do it.
There are a few magical Farewell.
She wants me to use the crafting bench. We can do that. None of those are particularly interesting, except life. We can throw life on something. That thing looks like it's got all its... It does have all of its affixes full? No, it does have a suffix. Need an open prefix to add life. The gloves? Sure. We're going to add 15 to 25 life. Just that easy. You happy, Helena?
I could hardly hope. Journey well.
She's happy. I made her happy. Trying to remember. The prison is the first one. So did they put these out of order? Did I not remember that from last league? Well, we'll find out. We're going to the crypt. The Fell Shrine Ruins. Let's see. Physical damage as random. Chance to hinder enemies on hit with spells. Well, the bow skeletons don't have spells, so they can keep that. Drop that down to there. There we go. Not sure how I feel about the required presence of the league mechanics. It hasn't really been an issue yet for me. That's maybe not true. That one mob that killed me twice on the first map, it might have been jacked up. That would help explain it, because it was just dishing out enormous amounts of damage. So if it was doing like 20% extra damage or more, or attacking extra fast, that would certainly increase the lethality of the encounter by a monstrous size chunk. Oh, he's got extra life. How lucky. I hate those little assholes. Hate him, hate him, hate him. I got a long staff. Please insert your own joke here. Thank you. Just make sure that your joke is the only thing you insert here. Oh, I am a joking person. Although, was that really intended to be funny? Doesn't it have to be intended to be funny to really be a joke? Even if it's not funny? Of course, there's the cynical use of the word, what a joke. So that's something that's not funny and probably not meant to be funny. This one is named Cruel Moan. At first I thought it said Cool Mom, which would be a little dark. Faster start of energy shield recharge. That should be fine. I don't think they have energy shield. Fire Mage Skeletons, 2 additional projectiles. I think I'd rather not. Increased life. I think I'd rather not. We'll give them more life and give them projectiles because I don't think they shoot projectiles. So I'm going to be taking a break relatively soon, 15, 20 minutes, something like that, for dinner. Then I will return at my standard 5 p.m. Pacific start time for more PoE action. League's okay so far. I haven't reached a strong opinion yet. I definitely like the fact that you can get some useful stuff right off the bat from the league mechanic. That is, I think, a big win. As that has frequently not been the case in the past. So that's a big up in my book for TGG. Let's scatter about some... Get me out. Throw some ballistae down. We are looking for the next trial. Which I think I actually have not missed, despite the fact that the display implies it. I always do the Chamber of Sin first. I'm not sure I'm hoping to do it until to do this one until after. There's the map indicator for what we're looking for. Trial of Ascension. Something hit really hard there. Was not a fan. Don't know that cosmetic screams Witch Doctor more than Archer to you. Seems like it'd get in the way of a full draw. Yeah. But it is... It's so colorful. It goes with my kind of appalling outfit. And it definitely goes with the pets, the little Harlequin pets. And not badly with the Hypnotoad. And my, you know, I generally have very subtle sensibilities when it comes to things like that, so I think it very much is a fit with my subtle fashion sense that I obviously have. Zoinks. Yeah, there we go. So I thought I'd missed one, but I always do them in this order. And in the past, it was always, they came up in the right order. They changed that, I think, last league, so that for whatever reason, my standard order of doing them no longer actually applies. We have another level. What do we have? Oh. What do we have in the morgue? Chance of caster mods not interested. Resistance mods are 100% scarcer. Interesting. And +1 explicit mod. Well, we wouldn't need resistance on a bow. We can try for another bow here, I suppose. Let's do that. See if we can't get an improvement on our bow. Not likely, but stranger things have happened. Actually, take a quick look. Maybe another quiver. Take another stab at a quiver. I'm going to go for the triple. We're going to do it. What the heck? We're going to craft. Quiver. May the tides of Soagoth wash away your anguish and aid this soldier, so that you may house their tools of justice.
So that you may house their tools of justice.
Yeah, that's what I said. Physical, attack speed, life per enemy killed, stun duration, damage with bows. Comparable, probably a little better. Yeah, a little better. We lose the life, but life is less of an issue for us now. Currently, we're doing 478.8, 564 average DPS now. An improvement. Not a big improvement, but an improvement. Hypnotoad, they dredged up a whole 20-year-old meme. Yeah, quite a while ago. The Hypnotoad has been around for a while. Okay, that's where we work. Got it. All right. Took me a sec to figure things out. I'm not as quick as I used to be. But then who amongst us is? Spooters. Dead spooters. More dead spooters. And down to the crypt, level 2. +2 to pack monster size? Sure, that's fine. Give me more monsters. Now, most of my cosmetics I've gotten from free boxes, rewards, stuff like that, giveaway. But some of the early ones, the game is technically free to play, but realistically, most people will tell you probably need to spend $20 to $40 on stash tabs if you really want to, get the most out of the game. other than that, everything would be cosmetics. So if you're going to buy the transaction, what you do is you'll buy one of the supporter packs where they come with the same amount of the currency as if you bought just the currency for the same price. So like $40 to buy one of the supporter packs, and it includes, along with the cosmetics, it also includes $35 or $40 worth of the currency for buying the tabs. So I bought a couple of supporter packs early on. You really kind of genuinely do need here's the toad. Froggy! Hello, Froggy. You really do need the stash tabs. You need the currency stash tab. If you're going to end game, you're going to want the map stash tab for sure. I don't have, for instance, the div card stash tab. I've done without that. But I also am an incredible pack rat, so I have more stash tabs than I need, and yet we'll still fill them up. Buckskin tunic. Take a look. Okay. The rusted coif. Life, pretty good. Better life. +1 to the level of all minion skill gems. We ain't got none of them. Minions? We don't believe in minions because shrapnel ballistae are not minions.
Speak.
No. We've got the golden hand. We'll give that to Yena. Here, let me give you a hand. Okay. We will now head into the riverways. What do we got? Maximum life on callow thugs. Movement speed. The Spriggans definitely not. They suck. The plummeting Ursay, which are the drop bears. Basically vicious, aggressive koalas.
Ready, Exile? This land is dying.
Alright, find and weaken beasts so that Einar can capture them. Another one of the old League mechanics. Also, I had forgot to activate my Herald of Thunder because I'm a dope. We got a couple of beasts up here. One of the systems I like in the game is the mana reservation system, where there are skills that you can turn on as a toggle. For instance, the one that's moving around in a little circle there. Herald of Thunder. But it reduces the maximum amount of mana I have. It's a nifty system. It reminds me a little bit of in EverQuest 2. There's a concentration number you have. And keeping up buffs reduce the number of concentration points you have available. And it's a system I always liked. I like the sort of pick your poison, as it were. You know, do you want to have a cool ability and less mana, or which abilities are you going to keep? Those kinds of trade-offs are something I like in games. Now, sadly, I think to a degree here, it's become a little more that people have been able to work around the thing so much that they can have either not have to worry about mana anymore, or can manage to squeeze in every single buff they want without really sacrificing it. I hunt well. Thank you, Einar. Very kind. Dragon Age Origins had something similar. It's been a long time since I played Origins. It's not that uncommon a thing, but it's a game system, sort of meta system that I like. Where you've got to make choices. You can't just have everything. Ow. Stop that. Stop hitting me that hard, please. Thank you. You'll be a survivor, or you will be food. You tell him, Einar. You tell him what for. Game systems that require meaningful choices. I like those trade-offs. We've gotten very few. Oh, this should be the last one. Very few chromatic items to drop. Any item that has linked sockets of all three colors can be sold for a chromatic order, which allow you to recolor those sockets on items, other items. Thank you, Einar. It's been grand. Generally, I get a lot more of those than I have gotten so far in this league. At least it feels like it. Again, that kind of thing is always going to be very hand-wavy. It feels like, oh, 20% to all resistances. Me no likey. Physical damage is extra damage of a random element. That's the spooters. 2 additional projectiles. Well, the Roas don't have projectiles. This is an awful lot of stuff that I don't particularly like. We definitely don't want the Spriggans to have increased movement speed. They're bad. Alright. That's an awful lot of stuff. Making all of the mobs, almost all of the mobs in the entire map, harder. Again, normally, the league mechanic is entirely optional to the way you engage in it and when and where you engage in it. Not in this one. You have no choice. All flame ember of tainted moths. I have no Necropolis locker decoration now available in your hideout. Oh, nice. Stop running away. I can't kill you appropriately if you run away, sir. That was Ding 23. Spooters. And peasants. I don't actually know if they're peasants. And yet, increased damage with bows, attack speed with bows, accuracy with bows, damage over time with bows. That sounds good. If only I was using a bow. Oh, wait. Another one of the bandits that has to, sadly for him, die. Try to melt oak down here. Redrop our ballistae. Sorry, dude. Bad luck, old boy.
Sorry, life bandit. Feed the worms.
There are 3 bandits. You have to kill at least 2. You can choose one of them to not kill, in which case they give you a buff. There's only really one of the 3 bandits that anyone ever lets live. But if you kill all 3, you get 2 skill points. Pretty much everyone does that. A few builds occasionally will do the one that gives you additional crit chance, I think, and elemental resistance. That can be useful for classes that need the elemental resistance. We don't have the stuff to get into the tree roots. Not yet. Not yet. Now we go back to town. Sell stuff, dump stuff off, etc., etc., etc. A superior plague mask. Well, I mean, come on. Of course I'm going to want to at least look at the superior plague mask. It's superior and plaguey. Chaos resist, regen, more energy shield. It's better than that one. I have new shoes. I don't have any accessories to go with them, though. Life. That's 13. This is 23. Cold resist. Looks like it's better.
What troubles you bring now?
What troubles you bring now? So there it is. Pack monsters reward greatly increased experience. I don't understand how to apply that. Click and drag this item over a monster pack in the Lantern of Aramor to have those packs in the area replaced with this pack. Okay. We'll try that in our next good-sized map. To the riverways and head west. Hi, Einar. Still hanging out, huh? You just can't quit me. The Western Forest. 20 to all resistances, not on the Spriggans. The Callow Thugs can get that. And we'll go ahead and... Oh, Necropolis Locker now, okay. Click and drag over to there. No? Click and drag this item over a monster pack. There we go. Ooh, Bestial Maws. And the Bestial Maws will give me a lot more XP. Let's see. I'm currently, what, 38%. We'll see how it goes as we run into more Bestial Maws. Alright, the last of the bandits will be on this side of the road, because the waypoint was on this side of the road. Bestial Maws. From 38 to 62%. They are giving a shitload of XP. Ooh, a great maw. Man, giving a lot of XP. Holy crap. Good choice, me. What happened to my dash? I don't have the level for it. It allowed me to level it too high? The fuck? I didn't think that was possible. The last of the banditos, Alira. She's the one who has the...
The King of Rats, Crate.
Yeah, she gives you 20% to global crit. Phew, crit. That was crit. I misspoke. Global critical strike multiplier, 15% to all elemental resistances and 5 mana per second. So some people will choose to help Alira, but generally we all just kill them all.
I hate to fluff flower, even a poisonous one like you.
We've got another stone box and more XP beasts. The bestial maws. That's a level. Not sure which mastery we take out of that node we just glommed previously, but I'm going to find out. Bow Mastery, Blink Arrow, and Mirror Arrow have increased cooldown recovery rate. I'm not a huge fan of that, because I don't like either of those skills very much. So I'll take something else. Increased area of effect while wielding a bow. Gain critical strike chance further they travel, up to 100% critical strike chance. Increase Mirage Archer, 100 accuracy rating per green socket on equipped bow. Increases in reductions projectile speed, often applied. Also apply. We'll go with that one. It's the int on this. I removed an item that had an... that lowered my int, is what happened. So I'm dumber than I was. But now I have dash back. So I'm gonna go down here. Mobs we need to kill here. We got a clicky we need to click. And then we'll head to the Weaver's Chambers. Or there's a Spooter that needs squashing. We grab the Thematic Emblem. We stick it in the Thematic Seal. Wide Chunk is the first character to enter Bloods. The Weaver's Chambers. Ooh. Spooters, spooters, spooters. Stop hitting me, you jerk. That's right, I had to remove it. I'm just not smart enough. We've got a strong box here. Rogue Exile. Rogue Exile is basically an NPC who has one of every type of item. He has, well, he has 2 rings, he has boots, he has gloves, he has weapons, and or offhand weapons. Basically, he's a fully equipped character. And we kill him, and we steal his stuff. We are, after all, your classic murder hobo. I do understand how this particular map could freak out anyone with arachnophobia, not just because of the number of spiders, but the fact that sometimes they fall in very large in front of you, screen perspective-wise. But I expect it would be much worse if spiders in real life actually hissed like this. I might change my opinion if spiders hissed. The Weaver's Nest. And she goes away for a while. Fighters spawn. Until she comes back. Flag spike, not welcome. Flag spike again. Still not welcome. Froggy! We need to talk to Silk. How are we doing on space? It is, after all, the final frontier. Wait, that was last night. Vicious Proj, elemental damage with attacks. I think you want that one. Close combat, Trinity. I think eventually we want Trinity too.
Piety would have concurred. Farewell.
I'm going to call it here, I think, for an hour. I should be back at my usual time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, middle of the night in Europe. I might give it a break and go a little bit longer after that. I'm not sure. I definitely need to take a break. But I want to thank you guys for hanging out. If you're interested in more of my particular type of humor and content, back in an hour, hour and a half, something like that. If not, there are plenty of other streamers today playing Path of Exile. That's for goddamn sure. Every time there's a new league, PoE is, if not the most popular game on Twitch, one of them. So, if so, feel free. I should be back in an hour, hour and a half for more Path of Exile quality gameplay. Again, thanks for hanging out. Hopefully you will see me soon. Back in an hour, hour and a half. If you don't come back, have a great rest of your Friday evening and a kick-ass weekend. In fact, even if you do come back, still have a great Friday evening and a kick-ass weekend.